I know a lot of you who will be traveling to WrestleMania 50 days from now to watch the showcase of the Immortals live. I know a lot of you as well will be watching WrestleMania from home with your friends and have a WrestleMania watch party and stuff like that. At the same time, there's people that are looking forward to the entire WrestleMania weekend, whether it's watching the WWE Hall of Fame, whether it's watching NXT TakeOver, whether it's watching other wrestling events happening that's not WWE, WrestleMania weekend. But when I think of WrestleMania weekend 50 days from now, I don't look at it as WrestleMania. I look at it as DorkMania. That's right, DorkMania is upon us, and you guys could be swagged out in the official DorkMania T-Shirt over at Teespring. It's in a gray color T-shirt, available in all sizes, and again, you can be swagged out this DorkMania season 50 days from now. And I'm going to take this time to thank my good friend Zach. You all may know him as Double Z TV. He is responsible for the design of the DorkMania logo. And it's crazy because last year, WrestleMania 35, right? I was in MetLife Stadium with Walter, and we did the whole weekend, right? And throughout the entire weekend, we were calling it DorkMania, right? And I remember during the Brock Lesnar and the Rollins match, right, to kick off the show at the stadium, Walter was like, yo, bro, we were calling this shit DorkMania the entire time. You could have made merch off this, right? Like make a t-shirt with DorkMania. I'm surprised you didn't do that. And it caught me by surprise because I was like, wow, bro, you aren't lying. Like, yo, for real, that could have went down, right? And I remember I got home from WrestleMania weekend. I did the review, and I had Zach do a DorkMania logo with the WrestleMania 35 theme, right? And it hit me like, bro, I could have made t-shirts off this shit. So I'm not missing the opportunity now. Again, guys, if you guys want to be swagged out in your WrestleMania gear this year, right? If you're going to be going to the show, if you'll be going, again, with your friends, your loved ones, or watching it from home, etc., head over to Teespring and buy the t-shirt today. Link in the description box. Comes in all sizes. DorkMania is upon us. And before I go any further, happy Valentine's Day to all you suckers out there. I'm sorry. All you dorks and mother flowers. I'm sorry. All you lovebirds out there, happy Valentine's Day. I hope all of you, again, are going to have a wonderful time tonight, going out to the restaurants. Hopefully you made reservations, if you will, weeks in advance, because every restaurant that I can think of right now is booked. Booked. Oh, yeah. And again, I hope you have a fun time. 3-course meal, appetizer, entree, dessert, some steak and lobster, shrimp and pasta, some champagne, a little bit of the bubbly, some white wine, red wine, sangria, however it is you get down. But I want to say the real MVP of Valentine's Day weekend is the hotel maids at the hotel cleaning up the sheets on February 15th. They are the real MVPs. Or if not, maybe, hey, you're single and there's a girl that you, again, view as a friend, want to show her a good time, hey, take her out to eat some more, what have you. Now, I have an embarrassing Valentine's story before I go any further with the podcast and stuff like that. This was about, in 2008, I was a junior in high school. At the time, I started working at a supermarket, and there was a girl that I thought was beautiful, that I found attractive, that I liked. And we would talk almost every day. We would text every day on the phone. We would have these conversations on the phone as well for hours, right? Just talking back and forth, making her laugh, etc., right? And I thought, literally in my mind, I'm like, I got this girl in the bag. Is she going to be mine? You feel me? I thought that. I literally did. So come Valentine's Day, before school, I passed by a flower shop. And I decide to surprise her and have flowers delivered to our job and have her receive it there as a surprise, right? So I spent about $60 on this whole thing. It was the flower to come in those like glass vases, basically. The type of stuff that your dad would buy your mom on Valentine's Day or on a random day, what have you, right? And I have them say, hey, it's a surprise. It's for this girl, right? Don't say it's for me, though. Don't say it's for me. So I go to school, and one of my friends took my phone from me. It started texting this girl, passing off as me, and telling her what I feel, basically. Oh, I like her, I want to be with her, and stuff like that. Basically, my friend shot their shot for me, basically, right, if you will. And I get my phone back, and I see the responses, and she's like, oh, that's sweet, but I only see you as a friend. Yeah. Kind of embarrassing to think that hours later she'll receive flowers from me, right? So I took that on the chin like a man, like, all right, bruh, it is what it is. I can't change anything. I got to accept it for what it's worth. So that happens, right? And hours later, she's at work and she receives the flowers. So I decided to text her back around 8 p.m. time, right? And I'm like, hey, how's work? Because we would do that too, but even when she wasn't working, she would hit me, hey, how's work and shit like that. And she responds to me, hey, did you send these flowers to me? And I couldn't lie to her. I'm like, you know what? Yes, I did. And she was like, oh, that's so sweet of you. Thank you. You didn't have to. When a girl says you don't have to, but they really mean it's, yeah, thank you, it's awesome and shit. Right? And I thought, okay, maybe that can change things a little bit. Again, I was young. I was 17. I didn't really know any better. And that didn't change anything. We were still friends. She did not view me as boyfriend material. And for a lot of guys I see today, like, oh, when a girl friend zones them, right? Oh, it's the end of the world. No, it's not, people. I made to tell you, that's not the case at all. If you want to be in a serious relationship with a girl, and this even goes for women wanting to be with guys too, I guess. If you're in the friend zone, it's not a bad thing. You want to be first friends before you rush into anything. Believe me when I say that. You want to get to know this person before you think about committing into a relationship. I feel like a lot of guys nowadays, and again, I've been there too. I've had plenty of time where I just hit and run, if you will. Hit it and leave, if you will. That too. But if you want to, again, form something with someone, you got to get to know that person first. Be their friend. Be a good friend. Have a couple laughs. Go out as friends first. Because remember, you have to be friends before you become lovers. Remember that, people. So again, if she friend zones you, it's not the end of the world, people. It's not the end of the fucking world. Again, take it like a man. Get to know the person. At the same time, don't be locked on one bitch either. I'm just saying, don't be locked on one girl. Because that's not also like good for you and shit. But it is what it is. Anyway, this is another installment of Around the Point. It is February 14th, 2020. Valentine's Day is here. Hope all of you are having a wonderful day. Looking forward to your weekend. And if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Give the video a big old thumbs up and share this podcast throughout your entire social media platforms, wherever it is that you share videos. Around the Point is also available on all major podcasting platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, Anchor, and as well as Spotify. So if you have these platforms, you can listen to Around the Point on the go. If you have Apple Podcasts, please do me a solid. Do me a solid and give the podcast a 5-star rating and give a review while you're at it. It helps out the show, and I will also appreciate it in the process. Around the Point is now being sponsored by Anchor. That's right. Anchor is an official sponsor of Around the Point. Now, listen, I know a lot of you out there that want to start your own podcast, right? But you really don't know how to go about it. Let me tell you guys, Anchor is the way to go. I'm not just saying that because Anchor is the home of Around the Point, but I'm telling you because, first and foremost, Anchor is free. A lot of these podcasting sites, they charge you money on a monthly base, right? Anchor is free of charge. Believe me. And who does not love free? I'm just saying, right? They have, believe it or not, creation tools that allows you to edit your show, whether you're on a computer or from your cell phone. I can't tell you guys how many times I've had to do something as far as editing on my iPhone, on the go. And it's so easy to use. Even if you have an Android device, it's so easy to use. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. They will help you. They will work with you and they will do you good. Believe me when I say that. And literally, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. And it's available, again, Anchor, that is, on your computer or as well on the Apple Store, on the App Store, that is, or Google Play Store. Again, what are you waiting for? Anchor is the way to go if you want to start your podcast. I want to thank Anchor for being an official sponsor of Around the Point. We got a big show coming up Sunday. That's right. NXT TakeOver Portland's coming up this Sunday. And honestly, I look forward to this show. It goes down, like I said, this Sunday from the Mada Center in Portland, Oregon. This is basically your predictions, and as well, I'm going to get into other topics as well, but we're going to start things off with the predictions for TakeOver Portland. And I got to say, overall, I'm excited for this show. I feel like TakeOvers always deliver. This is the first TakeOver that will be on a Sunday on itself. Granted, TakeOver Bridgeport, Connecticut was on a Saturday by itself, not being part of a pay-per-view weekend. So this is the first time that NXT TakeOver will be on a Sunday, which we think about Sundays over the years, as far as tradition goes for wrestling, is pay-per-view day, right? So TakeOver will now be, I guess, on a Sunday. Maybe it's a one time to see how they do, but I look forward to the show. There's literally, the card itself is stacked, right? There's like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's like 6 matches on this card. It's a stacked card. You can think about this, right? And I want to hear your thoughts as well, guys. Give me your thoughts in the comment thread, your thoughts on the card, what match you're looking forward to, and all that stuff, all right? So we kick things off with Keith Lee defending the North American Championship versus Dominik Dijakovic. They've had matches before. They were great matches, and there's not a doubt in my mind this will be another one. This could easily be the match that can steal the show. I see this kicking off the show, honestly. That being said, I see Keith Lee retaining the championship. I don't see why you have him drop the belt right now. There's no reason to. But again, it'll be a fun match all you want. We have Dakota Kai versus Tegan Nox in a street fight. This match, again, could be another one that you look at like, okay, what can they really do? And they can go out there and wow you. This story here is, again, Tegan Nox has been out with an injury. She's been back. And Dakota Kai turned on Tegan Nox after being, again, part of a team kick, if you will. And at War Games, Dakota Kai turned on Tegan Nox. And it's been this whole thing where these two now, who were at one time friends, are going at it. And something's got to give here. I see, honestly, at the same time with all of this, I see Dakota Kai getting the win. But it should be a fun match. We have the Undisputed Eras of Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly defending the NXT Tag Team Championships versus the Broserweights of Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne. You guys remember Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne won this year's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And by winning, they now get a Tag Team Championship match at TakeOver. And listen, these 4 guys can go out there and tear it up. There's no doubt in my mind. Like I said before, this is another match. Again, there's been matches on this card. Like, there's matches on this card that could be match of the night. And this is another one. No doubt about it. It created the thing, too, that the Undisputed Era were a part of the tag team class, were a part of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. They were eliminated by the Grizzled Young Veterans. And now here we go. We got Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne, who beat the Grizzled Young Veterans to win the tournament. And what I have been also enjoying, they did this on NXT this past Wednesday night, these little vignettes of Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne trying to arrive in Portland, right? You have Matt Riddle try to trick Pete Dunne that, oh, we're going to Portland with the trophy. We're going to drive there. They get pulled over by police. They try to go on a boat, but it's like those things that you go in a park with your girlfriend almost, and you paddle on this shit. And then you see them at the end. It's the most funniest shit. They try to go on a private jet, but they try to put the trophy like inside the belly of the plane, if you will, just to have them to sneak into the plane to find out that it's Triple H's private plane, and that's how they get the point. But again, I thought it was cool. It was funny. It shows, I guess, in some way, shape, or form that Pete Dunne, yes, he's serious as all hell, but he can also have a little bit of a character to him, which was cool to see too. That being said, this match, I don't know. I don't really see why you have. Honestly, no, I take that back. Honestly, I would say Matt Riddle, Pete Dunne. I do think they'll win the tag team titles here. So there you go with that. Remember, Pete Dunne, was it 2 years ago or so, was also in a tag team title match with Roderick Strong, and that whole thing happened when Roddy turned on Pete Dunne and joined the Undisputed Era. So I see here, again, Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne winning the tag team titles here. We have Finn Balor and Johnny Gargano going at it in a singles match. This match was supposed to take place a couple of months ago, TakeOver War Game, but never took place because Gargano got hurt. And I'm enjoying this too. You know, Finn Balor's back in NXT, right? And who is he feuding with? The guy that people think of as now as the face of NXT. Think about this, right? Finn Balor at one time was the face of NXT. Now, when you think about it, who is the face of NXT right now? It's Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling, Johnny TakeOver, right? And you already know this is a match that will indeed steal the show. Could easily main event. And it's like, you know, how they're going to go down, you have no fucking clue until you watch. And I've enjoyed what they've been doing back and forth. That being said, I don't really see what Drew gets out of winning. My bad. What does Finn get out of winning this? I'm going to go with Johnny Gargano. I think Gargano wins here, and then Finn goes back to the main roster. But I could be wrong on that one too, but we'll see. But I have been enjoying Finn Balor's work on NXT. I have been, believe it or not. We then get Rhea Ripley defending the NXT Women's Championship versus Bianca Belair in a singles match. Bianca Belair, a couple of weeks ago, won the Battle Royal to earn this opportunity. But at the same time, it feels like Bianca Belair has been the afterthought in all this. Because Charlotte Flair, as you all know, won the Royal Rumble. Rhea Ripley came out a couple weeks ago on Monday Night Raw, wanting Charlotte to challenge her for her title at WrestleMania. And you had Charlotte Flair pop up at NXT. And it's like, where's Bianca in this thing, right? And this past Wednesday, Bianca had her moment. She took out Rhea Ripley. She attacked her to let her know, hey, she's here too. And again, what do you do here, right? Will Charlotte Flair be there in attendance? I do think that she will. She will be there in the building. That being said, I don't know. Like, listen, there's a lot of people that want to see Charlotte and Rhea Ripley going at it. At the same time, what do you do with Bianca? I say, believe it or not, we're going to get another triple threat match at WrestleMania for a women's title. Featuring Charlotte Flair. Featuring Rhea Ripley. And featuring Bianca Belair. Okay, think about this too, right? Charlotte Flair was a guest on Backstage this past Tuesday. In her interview, she praised Bianca Belair. So why not? Like, again, it's a good match. You showcase not just Rhea Ripley, but you also showcase Bianca Belair. Does this mean that Charlotte is officially part of NXT? If she wins, yes. That match at WrestleMania. That being said, I see this match ending, believe it or not, in a no contest. I see it ending in a no contest. And that's where Charlotte does her challenge. And then you factor in Bianca in this match as well at WrestleMania. So there's that. Also factor in that Bianca was the MVP of that Women's Royal Rumble match this past January. So keep that in mind too. We then have the main event. Adam Cole defending the NXT Championship versus Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa trying to get back Goldie that he never lost. And I've enjoyed what they've done as well. Last week, Tommaso Ciampa put Adam Cole through a table in a contract signing. I think he signed with his blood. And here this past this past Wednesday, Adam Cole got his revenge. And again, I've been enjoying the story here. I have been, right? Again, Ciampa wants his belt back that he never lost because of injury. He had to, had to relinquish that title. But at the same time, again, Adam Cole held his belt now for a long time. I think he's about to be at 200-something days, I think it is. I do think that we will have a new NXT champion in Tommaso Ciampa. He regains Goldie. And after that, we hear TikTok. I predict that Killer Kross will show up at the end of the show to attack Tommaso Ciampa. And we're off with Tommaso Ciampa and Killer Kross program down the road. Bold prediction? Yes, but I can see that happening. Think about it, right? Killer Kross has been given this publicity, this promotion, right? Oh, he's now at NXT. And if you're WWE, if you're NXT right now, why not jump at the opportunity and feature now Killer Kross? Just saying. Makes a lot of sense to me. So that's what I look at right now with NXT TakeOver Portland. With that, I will be going live after the show's over for a live edition of Around the Point where I'll be doing my review of the show. So again, guys, if you want to tune in for that, make sure, again, if you are on YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon, be notified when I upload, when I go live, and all that fun stuff. Moving on here. We got a lot to get into, okay? WrestleMania 37 has already found his location. Crazy because we're still in WrestleMania 36. It hasn't happened yet, but we now know the location of WrestleMania 37. It's going back to California, Los Angeles. The LA Times revealed that WrestleMania 37 will reveal that, they'll be taking place in SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California on March 28th, 2021. So they're going back to LA, right? Even though it really isn't LA, it's Inglewood, but in the era is LA, right? The first WrestleMania back in LA since 2005, I believe. Yeah, it was Triple H and Batista. Basically, after 15 years, they're back in LA. And it's taking place again on March 28th, 2021. And when I look at this too, when I look at this, it's cool, awesome. They're on the West Coast. The stadium capacity is 70,240. But apparently, it can be expanded to 100,240. So I'm wondering, what number will WWE claim? What's their capacity like? What number will they hype up and shit like that? But nonetheless, listen, they're going to California. Hey, listen, it's about time they go back to the West Coast. Granted, you think about the last time they were on the West Coast for WrestleMania 31, back in 2015. So 6 years later, they're back on the West Coast. 15 years back in California, but back in the LA area, if you will. And it's also been said that apparently, as far as the events go, March 25th, 2021 will be the Hall of Fame ceremony at the Staples Center. March 26th will be Friday Night SmackDown from the Staples Center. March 27th will be TakeOver Los Angeles from the Staples Center. March 28th, WrestleMania 37 from SoFi Stadium. And then obviously March 29th will be Raw after Mania, I'm assuming at the Staples Center. But that's basically what's going to go down a year from now. And again, I'm pretty sure a lot of people might be doing the travel, might be going out there. Honestly, I ain't going to lie to you guys. I did say that I'm retired from WrestleMania. I'm retired. I'm done with it. But if I were to do another WrestleMania, it would probably be this one. Because it's California. It's the West Coast. I haven't been to the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? And there's that. I do have family in California, but other than that, it's up in the air right now. So there's that as well. Let's talk about Shayna Baszler this past Monday on Raw. Shayna Baszler made her appearance felt on Raw this past Monday. She attacked Becky Lynch after Becky successfully defended her title against Asuka in the rematch. And she attacks Becky she proceeds to just throw these punches at her, right? And then she takes off her mouth guard, her mouthpiece, right, as she has, and proceeds to bite Becky Lynch in the back of the neck. There's blood. This whole visual of Shayna having blood in her mouth and Becky just screaming in pain. People going insane about this. People have been calling now, oh, Shayna's new gimmick, she's a vampire, stuff like that. And that's fine. Listen, I thought the segment, the whole thing was great, right? Does she need to be a vampire gimmick? I don't know. Was the blood extra? Yes, kind of extra, but I thought overall it was great, awesome. Because now you kind of know where they're going to go with Becky Lynch. They moved on from Asuka. They needed to. Now on to the next chapter. Shayna Baszler. There's a story there. Shayna's Ronda's friend. Last year WrestleMania, Becky beat Ronda Rousey. So Shayna's going to try to get revenge for the loss from Ronda from last year's Mania, right? But here's what I'll be critical. This is the only thing that pissed me off, right, from the whole thing. So you see Becky go on the ambulance. She drives the ambulance, right? Just to have her come back later on in the show. You mean to tell me you could not have, right, Becky Lynch, the next week show up with the bandages on the back of her neck, still in pain, right, from the bites, right? And talk about how she's going to face Shayna Baszler. Now, could they have a match prior to WrestleMania? Yeah. But probably end in some shitty way, like a disqualification or no contest. But I see at WrestleMania, obviously, like everyone else does, Shayna Baszler and Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's title. And this is where the man gets crushed. Where Shayna finally beats the man. Because let's be real about it. Yes, Becky still gets a reaction. Don't get me the fuck wrong. But it gets to a point where, okay, something has to give here. Finally, someone has to beat her, right? And I think, why not be Shayna Baszler? Believable in my opinion. So we'll see where that goes. But again, I thought her return to the main roster, her debut on Raw was great. It looks like now she's done with NXT. She's now main roster bound, so we'll see what happens. Okay? It turns out, according to a source that was speaking with WrestleZone, AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, right? Get ready to fly. They don't want none, right? Could be possibly facing at WrestleMania 36, The Undertaker. Now, here's the thing. Undertaker did not appear at last year's Mania. If you notice, Taker did more about that sweet Saudi money, right? He's Saudi Arabia, but he won't be at WrestleMania. There's talks of Styles now facing Undertaker. Now, listen, if you would have told me 10 years ago or so, right? When Styles was he in Impact Wrestling? Yes, he was. 10 years ago or so, right? He was in TNA. That, one day he would face The Undertaker WrestleMania. I'll be like, bro, you're out of your mind. Come on, who are we kidding here, right? At the same time, listen, I think from a visual perspective, oh my God, it's a phenomenal match, right? But is it a match that AJ needs right now? No. Yeah, I get it. Hey, to say that you faced Undertaker at WrestleMania, put that on your resume, it's a fucking win. That's huge, right? But as far, am I calling for that match? No. The match that, I want to see, everyone else wants to see in a way, is Taker and Sting. It could be a short match, just the entrance himself, the visual, that would be awesome. But that's it. Once the bell rings, it's like, damn, bruh. Here, I don't see this being a long. Again, let's assume it's true. We're not saying that, oh my God, it's going to happen or not. But let's assume for a second that it's true. Maybe it does happen. Undertaker and AJ Styles. Can it be a match where, hey, a good 10-minute match where Styles will bump around for Undertaker? Yes. And is it an easy win for Taker? I don't know. We'll see. But again, to me, honestly, it's not a match that I'm dying to see if it does happen. I'd rather see Sting versus The Undertaker, to be honest with you guys. Even though it's a match that Sting's been calling for a while, Sting has been cleared to go. When you think about it, he's been cleared to wrestle and shit. They kept it low key. But we'll see how that goes. Speaking of AJ Styles, they announced on Raw that at Super Showdown, they'll have the Tawaki Trophy Gauntlet match. I probably butchered the name, but it is what it is. It's going to feature, obviously, the return of AJ Styles from his injury. Andrade, who'll be coming back from his suspension. Bobby Lashley, Eric Rowan, Rusev, and R-Truth. That's going to be the 6 guys, I guess, from Raw. I'm pretty sure there'll be guys from SmackDown too. Here's the thing about it, okay? I said this before, I'll say it again. To me, when WWE goes to Saudi Arabia, that is their outlaw mud show carny bullshit event, right? I'm pretty sure there'll be guys from SmackDown as well on this event. I gotta believe that it will be. There will be. And obviously, let's missing one more person. Mansoor. Think about it. This is a match, and the way I look at it right now, is to basically put over Mansoor. Because again, in Saudi Arabia, you put Mansoor up there as he's like Brock Lesnar. He's a big fucking deal in Saudi Arabia. I'm pretty sure in Saudi Arabia, there's fucking billboards of Mansoor in WWE. I'm pretty sure there is. I guarantee you, again, there's like this 10 plus year deal for WWE in Saudi Arabia. I guarantee you. It won't happen at the next one, but down the road, you will be seeing Mansoor challenge for that WWE title. And don't be surprised if he wins. That being said, I see Mansoor winning this gauntlet match. Just to have that moment in Saudi Arabia with his friends, his family that are there in attendance and shit like that. I see that happening, believe it or not. That's what this is for. It's kind of sad, but it is what it is. You think about this too, right? I don't even hate Mansoor. I get why they push him in Saudi. I get that. But if you're gonna push him in Saudi, yo, push him also in NXT. Why the fuck not? Like, push him also in WWE. Come on, seriously. Think about it. NXT, he's more like an enhancement guy. But yeah, it's kind of silly. What can you expect, right? Speaking of NXT, Simone Johnson, The Rock's daughter, who's 18 years old, has signed with WWE. Now, she did do an interview with Kathy Kelly at the PC. They're mentioning that Simone Johnson is the first 4th generation WWE superstar. And it's a big deal in some way, right? It's Rock's daughter, right? It's not like she has been there before. She has been around the Performance Center numerous times. She's been spotted with people that wrestle or train at the Performance Center as well. So it's no secret. She's been there for a while. Okay? That being said, you know, the interview itself, she held herself very good. The fact that, hey, they're signing her at 18 years old, you can make the argument, oh, it's because of her dad's The Rock. And again, that will always be the perception, is how she handles that now. Honestly, if I'm WWE, again, listen, it's great, awesome, good story, right? At the same time, she will still be going to college, majoring in entertainment management. It's a good story. That being said, you don't put it on TV right away. I don't even think they'll do that as well. I think honestly, this is a project that you take your time with. You train her right. Let her learn the right way. And honestly, again, they have this partnership with Evolve. Honestly, when they feel like, hey, she's ready for something, hey, send her to Evolve. Send her to Evolve. Send her on the independents. Honestly, again, in a perfect scenario, she would be busting her ass on the independent scene, making a name for herself, right? Like Cody Hall. Granted, Cody Hall hasn't even been heard from in a while, right? But I remember there was a story years ago that Cody Hall was offered a contract to WWE, and he turned it down because he wanted to earn that contract, not just get it because his father was Scott Hall. That was commendable, but again, we haven't heard jack shit from Cody Hall. I'm just saying. Again, I would hope that, again, they do that with something similar to Simone. And again, she comes off as an innocent girl that knows what she wants, well-spoken, and let's see where they go with this. Again, I just don't think right now the push her right away is the way to go. I get it. It's Rock's daughter. All the fuck you want. We'll see what happens. Again, guys, give me your thoughts on that as well. Give me your thoughts on Simone Johnson, your thoughts on WrestleMania 37, your thoughts on the prediction, all that stuff, guys. This is Around the Point here on YouTube.com. If you're on Twitter, follow me at HeelSteven. Use that hashtag ATPoint so I know what to talk about the show. Matt Hardy has officially said goodbye to WWE. We all saw on Monday that he went out there to confront Randy Orton for what Randy Orton did to Edge. couple of weeks ago with the one-man concerto. And Hardy comes out, and here's the thing about it, right? You can just tell that Hardy is in a lot of pain. The way he's limping to the ring, right? We've been seeing that for a while now. He's limping to the ring, and it's cringeworthy at times. He talks about how him and Edge, and again with the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, they created the tag team ladder match many years ago, and how they formed TLC with the Dudley Boys. And even though there has been a past, and they acknowledge that past, right, with Lita and all that stuff. People were chanting for Lita at one point in the crowd, right? How even when Edge had to retire, he let all that hatred go away, and now they're friends. They really, really are. They're friends and all that shit. And all has led to Hardy RKOing Matt Hardy. And then hitting him with the one-man concerto, the same way he did to Edge. And then Matt goes on Twitter, says goodbye. Again, his contract is coming up in a couple of weeks, I'm assuming, so this is their way to write him off television. Now, do I see him? And here's the thing about it, too. A lot of people have been with this assumption that, oh, he's going to be going to AEW, part of the Dark Order, this and that. And I'll be real about it. Listen, Matt Hardy, at this point, and to me, honestly, I'm good. I don't need to see him wrestle anymore. Like I said before, he's walking down the ramp and he's limping. He's in pain. The guy's been around for so long, all the injuries, all that shit, all the bump that he's taken over the years. The guy's he's in pain. And honestly, again, I don't need to see it no more. I don't need to see it. And even if he goes to AEW, it's just, okay, basically it's another former name that was in WWE, now in AEW. So there's that. Right? Now, if you're going to tell me that he's going to take a backstage role, helping young talent, by all means. By all fucking means. But I don't want to hear, oh, Steve, but he's an asset to any company. I don't want to hear it. No. Yes, an asset backstage as producer, as an agent, all the fuck you want. But don't sit there and tell me that, oh my God, the broken gimmick is coming back. Because even that, honestly, I'm good, bruh. The broken gimmick was great back in 2016, part of 2017, and Impact Wrestling. That was great. I don't need to see it no more. It's a phase that's done. It's over with. It's moved on. Just saying. Speaking of AEW, let's get to some AEW news real quick, all right? AEW, this past Wednesday night. I didn't watch the entire show, but I saw clips in there. I did watch the Nyla Rose versus Riho match for the AEW Women's Championship. And let me say this right now. I thought overall, probably the best women's match that AEW has done in the last 19 weeks on television. And I think, honestly, at the same time, as good as it was, the sad part about it too, it's probably the best women's match that we'll see in that company. I don't see any other women's match in AEW topping what we saw Wednesday night. Obviously, yes, it happened. Nyla Rose beat Riho for the Women's Championship. And as people were praising it, because there has been people that have been praising her win at this past Wednesday on Dynamite, right? Oh, congratulations, you deserve it, and new. Listen, it was about time Riho lost that championship. Because she was doing that division no favors at all. It's crazy to think, right? When AEW formed, that, oh my God, Britt Baker looked like they're going to push her and let her be the face of that company or that face of that women's division, right? She was the first signing, even though now she's a heel. She's cutting decent promos here and there, right? She's coming into her own now as a heel. And you think, oh my God, Britt Baker is the face of that women's division. No. Didn't turn out that way. And here's Riho, who, again, is a friend of Kenny Omega, wins the championship, and has done nothing with the belt. Has some solid matches here and there, but nothing to go home about, to cry about, or to go crazy about, if you will. Right? And here Nyla Rose, she finally beats it. And again, it's a good match, like I said. But as there's been praise for Nyla Rose winning the championship, at the same time, on the other side of the coin, there's been remarks that we've all heard for a while now when it comes to Nyla Rose. Oh, it's a man, transgender, this and that, and congratulations, AEW, a man now holds your title and shit. Listen, And I said this on Twitter to paraphrase what I said. There's people that are happy for her, as you should be. There's nothing wrong with being happy about that. At the same time, there's people that are voicing their opinions, even if it offends you. At the same time, that's just the way that it is. You can't change people's opinions. It is what it is. End of the day. The way I look at it again, it was a good match. Now, you think about this, right? They had a match on the debut episode of Dynamite, right? For the women's title. And everyone thought then, oh, Nyla's winning the belt then and there. It didn't happen. They gave it to Riho. They swerved everybody. Right? And one thing I'll say too, they stuck to their word. They're going to be all about diversity and being different, if you will. And they are. When you think about it. At the same time, and again, I have nothing against Nyla Rose. I think, again, she's an amazing wrestler, all the fuck you want. My only question is, and again, I mean it with all due respect, I just want to know, how old was she when she transitioned? Because that will answer a lot of questions. Just the way that she looked. Because again, you look at the match itself, right? There's moments in the match where Riho kicked out of these finisher moves. I was like, really? But that's my only question. You know? Because you think about this, right? And again, you may think, oh, I'm fucked up, I'm this and that. Listen, I'm all about people living their life how they want to live. Believe it or not, I'm all for people being happy how they want to be. Okay? At the same time, what my issue is, again, with this whole thing with transgender and LGBT, what have you, when it comes to combat sports, when it comes to physical contact, and pro wrestling, as much as it's entertainment, it's theater, all the fuck you want, it's also some sort of combat sport. And the idea that someone that at one time was a dude, who's still, you can see that still has the male hormones and all that shit still, right? The broad shoulders, her structure, right? Taking on these tiny women, it's kind of like, really? But at the same time, again, I'm all for everyone to live their life how they want to live. Believe it or not. My only question is now, okay, Nyla now has the belt. Who do you have to take that title off her? Don't tell me Awesome Kong. No, I don't want to see that. No. Her time is come and gone. Britt Baker? A.K.A. Joseph Benavidez? I don't know. Because if you're real about it, that women's division right now is shit. I'm sorry, but it's shit. Like I said before, like I said earlier, Nyla and Riho had probably the best match for women's wrestling in that company. And I don't see anything following that. I really, really don't. Hopefully I'm proven wrong. But again, congrats to Nyla Rose. She finally got the belt. But let's see where this goes now. Let's see where this goes. Speaking of which, the Nightmare Collection is over with by Brandy Rhodes. Awesome. Next week, we're getting the cage match of MJF versus, the cage match between Cody versus Wardlow in the cage. Also on Dynamite, what I did like is the sit-down interview that Jim Ross had with Santana from the Inner Circle. As you guys know, in the main event, it was Jon Moxley and Santana. And I did enjoy, like I said, the sit-down interview that Santana had. He had the eye patch on. He got personal. He got deep. Mentioning about his father and his father being blind and not being able to see at the age 15. And how he, again, gone through the struggle. It was real. It was real emotion. And it shows you that, hey, honestly, again, if Santana and Ortiz had to separate, I see more money in Santana. But that's just around the point. Which led to the main event, which we saw the debut of Jeff Cobb. Now, Jericho has been mentioned that Jeff Cobb will take out Jon Moxley next week as the assassin, his mercenary, right? And he comes out, right? He comes out and he has his hair down. He looks like a fucking monster now, right? Crazy, because this whole time we've seen him with the bun, if you will, his hair tied up in a bun, wrestling and shit. Now his hair down, he looks like a fucking threat, right? Someone you don't fuck with. And he hit him with the tour of the islands, which was a sick visual move to see on Jon Moxley. And that was it. And now Jeff Cobb is part of the inner circle. The question is now, people have been wondering, hey, is he now officially with AEW? People thought he was part of Ring of Honor. To my understanding, his contract with ROH expired at the end of 2019. What he was doing, it was just a per appearance deal with Ring of Honor. Ryan Satin is reporting that Cobb's agreement with AEW might only be for a few appearances at this time. Sources close to the situation are claiming that he was only booked for a few shows, one of which is a match against Moxley next week. Jeff Cobb is still set to team with Dan Moth at Ring of Honor's Super Card of Honor event coming up WrestleMania weekend against Kenta and Taji Ishimori on April 4th in Lakeland, Florida. So, do I see Jeff Cobb being AEW bound soon? Yes. Believe it or not, I see that happening. At the same time, a good pickup by AEW. Jeff Cobb is someone that I can see being down the road a future main eventer, future contender, if you will. At the same time, too, it's cool to see that they're picking up also big guys, too. Not just these small indie flip bullshit guys, if you will, but also some big guys. It's cool to see that, too. Hopefully they can do more of that down the road, since AEW got their extension deal from TNT. Now they're going to make more money. So there you go with that too. Anyway, guys, I know that also next week there'll be a battle royal, a tag team battle royal to see who will face Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page for the tag titles as well. There's that. And that's all we got to say about this for now. Honestly, again, am tired, obviously. Just came back from work. I'm doing this podcast right now. Thank you all for watching. If you are new to the podcast, if you're new to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Give the video a big old thumbs up. Share it through social media. Reminder again, I will be live this Sunday after TakeOver Portland for my live edition of Around the Point, where I give my thoughts on the show. Again, Around the Point is available also on all podcasting platforms. We are available over at Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, Anchor, also over at Spotify. Again, guys, DorkMania is upon us. Get yourself the shirt today. Get yourself that T-shirt today. The official DorkMania shirt, available over at Teespring. I want to thank Double Z TV, also known as Zach, for the design of the DorkMania T-shirt. And also, we are sponsored by Anchor. Again, if you are someone that wants to start a podcast, Anchor is the way to go. Anchor is an official sponsor of Around the Point. You can follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. All right, follow me there. I'll be tweeting throughout the show on Sunday. So if you want to interact with me there, feel free to. Also, Around the Point is available over at okfabe.com. Connor, the host of the Random Wrestling Podcast, you can listen to every single Sunday at 9 p.m. over at Fight TV. I want to thank Connor as well for allowing Around the Point to be on his website as well. All right. To my understanding, he'll be interviewing real soon Chris Van Vliet, who I think is the best interviewer right now in the IWC. He also interviewed, believe it or not, Alicia Toot a couple weeks ago. So Connor's on a roll, and I'm happy for him as his friend, as someone that's as my boss, if you will, who's, again, I'm on his site. Awesome. I'm happy for him, and nothing but love his way. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. This has been Around the Point. Peace out, dorks.